Hello friends, welcome back to my channel and to another Plan With Me video. This week we are memory planning the week that was July 29th through to August 4th, and we are using this absolutely gorgeous kit from SPC, which I believe is like from the archives, like it was a while ago, but again, you guys know that in my recent videos I've been trying to use up as many of my older kits as I can. I also just want to preface this video by saying that I am trying to fit this voiceover in. My noisy dog is outside and he's probably going to start barking at any minute because he doesn't tolerate being outside for very long. But when we feed them, we have to separate them. So one eats inside, one eats outside. And then generally speaking, my husband will come home sort of 20 to 30 minutes after they've eaten. So I'll generally leave Noisy Dog outside to finish his food, and then he gets let in when my husband comes back. But yeah, he doesn't like being outside for very long. So if he does start barking, I apologize. As always, I will try and edit out his noises to the best of my ability. But it is what it is. I'm trying to get these voiceovers done. I really want to get into 2025 planner content. So we're going to persevere. Like I said, the kit I'm using this week is from SPC, and the foil bundle that I'm using is from Plano Choco. If someone can tell me the correct way to pronounce that, it would be greatly appreciated. But I'm also using underlays from Rose Colored Days, and all of the foil is in a hollow moment. I just thought that because the kit was like a pastel muted kind of vibe, that bringing in like a fun hollow foil would be nice. It was also nice to change it up from like the regular silver that you would normally see during winter. I know that hollow is also still technically silver, but you know, at least there's pops of rainbow in there. I don't believe this week was too much of an eventful week, so it's kind of just going to be one of those, you know, adult life weeks. But I guess we should go ahead and get started because this voiceover is a little bit on the shorter side. You guys know I love to yap, and I always end up talking my way into my intro. So let's go ahead and get into everything. There's also a lot of gaps here. Reason being is I still am waiting on. No, not waiting on. I have scripts for the TV shows that I was watching during this week. I've put them somewhere. I don't know where they are. So until I clean up and find them, there's a lot of blanks. So we're just going to have to deal with that as well. But this week, my sidebar, very standard. I've got my 3 full boxes, and then I've got my little box there for my highlight of the week. And then we'll go ahead and get started in the day by day. So first things first, on Monday, I have marked work at the top of the day there, and I've used a cute little sloth sticker. Again, I'm really into using up my stickers at the moment, so I'm going through and I'm trying to find like sticker sheets where I can use up icons or characters and get rid of that sheet. Not because I want them gone, but because I want to use them, and also because I have so many characters and icons that I really need to condense my collection, and doing a destash for me is just like this whole big mental thing. Like, it's so easy to take like 100 photos of, you know, things you want to sell, but then when you're having to go through the comments, replying to everyone, getting the pricing correct, it's a nightmare. So we're trying to avoid that. And these little sloth stickers I had forever, and their colors matched the kit perfectly, so I thought that they worked really well. And you guys know that I tend to mark work the same way throughout the entire spread. I just like that consistency when it comes to work. The second thing that I've marked is that it was a cold and windy day. Also, if you are new here, of course, welcome. Hi, hello. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. But I don't actually list or name where each individual sticker is from. I do, however, list each of the stores that I've used in the description below. And of course, if you do have a specific request or you want to know where a specific sticker is from, pop it in the comments below and I will get back to you ASAP. But yeah, cold, windy day. Of course, it was winter, so we were starting to feel the winter vibes. No, this was like nearing the end of winter. We're like 2 months into winter, so we had 1 more month left of winter. So we were cold. I did mark that I went for a walk this day, and then I've left space for marking some TV. Now, I believe at this time, I can't remember because it was so long ago, I think we were watching How I Met Your Mother, and I was watching Gossip Girl. So I'm going to guess that wherever there's a gap where there's no scripts for television, it's Gossip Girl and it's How I Met Your Mother. So there's 2 slots here for TV. I'm assuming one was Gossip Girl. I then marked family time on Monday, which basically just means me, my husband, and my dogs sat on the couch and chilled out. And then there's another space there left for TV, which I'm going to assume was How I Met Your Mother, because when my hubby gets home, that's when we watch, whatever show it is that we're watching together. On Tuesday, I marked work at the top of the day. And then I marked that once again, I did go for another walk. I was trying to be super good. I don't go for very long walks, but I was trying to be really consistent at this point because, again, we were going through IVF and they tell you to keep up, movement and exercise. And like I said, I don't exercise a lot, but I was aiming to go for 20 to 30-minute walks every day, weather permitting. When I got home from my walk this day, I did mark that I listened to some ASMR and I watched ASMR. So I watch ASMR on Twitch. It can be both an audio and a visual thing. So yeah. I've then got a spot here where I've marked watching something. So again, I'm going to assume it was Gossip Girl. I've then marked relaxing. And then once again, there is another little space at the bottom of the spread for, once again, a TV show, which I'm going to assume was How I Met Your Mother. I have the worst indigestion and hiccups at the moment. It is so uncomfortable. Worst time to do a voiceover, but it is what it is. Wednesday, we've marked work at the top of the day there, and then I did mark payday. You guys know if I'm marking payday, it's because I didn't have anything else to fit in the day or like to fill out the day. So that is why it's there. I did mark that I had a lunchtime shower. I don't have those a lot, but sometimes I want to wash my hair like before an appointment or something like that. So I washed my hair at lunchtime this day. Sometimes I just like to have a shower at lunchtime and like refresh myself, quite honestly. I then had a walk after work. And then again, we've got our two spots for our TV shows, Gossip Girl and How I Met Your Mother. And then I also marked that I had a weird little sharp pain when stretching. I'm just going to flip back. Yeah, so the week before this was the plan with me that I did. So we'd actually had an embryo transfer the previous Wednesday. So at this point, we were a week post transfer. So by this point in time, I was looking at anything and everything being a possible pregnancy symptom. So whatever I'd done here, I like stretched the wrong way or did something the wrong way and got like a really sharp pain in my like abdomen area. So I marked that down because, in hindsight, looking back, you want to remember all of these things because if this is the right time, you want those memories, right? On Thursday, we've marked work at the top of the day there. I did mark that it was quite cold this day. And then I did go for a walk around the block. And on the way home, I did see a rainbow. This rainbow, there was absolutely no reason for there to be a rainbow. It had not rained. It was not wet. And there was just a random rainbow. And I don't know how you guys feel about like signs and signals and things like that. But this was 4 days before my what they call beta pregnancy test. So basically I do a blood draw usually on days 10 or 11 of like post transfer. So my first beta test was to be the following Monday, and I saw a rainbow, and I couldn't help but take that as a sign that the transfer had worked and that I was actually pregnant. So I wanted to make a point of marking that in because, like I said, whether or not you believe in signs, for a rainbow to just appear out of nowhere without rain, maybe it had rained wherever the rainbow was, but it hadn't rained in my area. So I just thought it was really strange. And I also had a couple of other things where I'd been on TikTok during the week and I'd seen something about seeing like a rainbow sticker or like a rainbow, like, sorry, not a rainbow sticker, seeing like, not seeing a rainbow, sorry. I don't know, seeing something, seeing a butterfly sticker or something. And I saw some kind of sticker, but it wasn't a butterfly. And I was still kind of like, well, that's really weird. Like this was on that same walk. And then I saw the rainbow and I was like, oh my God, like this is a sign, like I'm pregnant. So I wanted to mark that in. I then marked that I had a little catch up, like messenger, like Facebook back and forth with my friends, Liz, M, and Maya. They are all planner girls, or they were all planner girls. Emily used to run Wednesday Planning, which no longer is operating. Liz used to be Planner Bliss with Liz. She used to post planner videos. And Maya runs Sticker Thief, who I believe is currently doing printables. Maybe coming back with her recent post. I don't know, but she runs Sticker Thief. So by all means, check them out. And then I left space for another TV show. I'm assuming that it was the last thing that I marked, so it was probably How I Met Your Mother. Friday, I have marked work, and then I marked underneath that I had a stupidly unproductive day. Doesn't surprise me. I have quite a lot of those, if I'm honest. Once again, I did mark going for a walk, and then I've left a spot there to mark that I watched Gossip Girl. We had Nando's for dinner this night, and then the movie of choice for Friday night. As you guys know, that's usually like our Netflix and chill night. So it's Saturday, actually, if we're home. But in this night, we watched Guilt Trip. Can't recall it. Don't know who's in it, but by all means, check it out. Don't even know if it's still on Netflix because this is like months and months ago. But, feel free to check it out. On Saturday, I did mark that we had a little vet appointment for our guinea pig. Again, for anyone who's been around for a while, you guys know that our guinea pig has been battling or had been battling dental concerns since June of 2023. This was no exception. It was just another one of our checkups. We did get McDonald's breakfast on the way home from the vet appointment. And then we did do a quick little grocery shop and fruit shop grocery run. I then marked that I believe once again I didn't mark it. I left space for it. I'm thinking we watched How I Met Your Mother. I marked that my husband made crunch wraps. So if you like crunch wraps from Taco Bell, my husband has found a recipe, like, I don't know where he found it, but he makes crunch wraps at home every now and again, and they are so satisfying. I then marked that my football team versus my dad's football team, and unfortunately we lost 20 points to 6. And then that night we did watch Pineapple Express. Again, with the IVF stuff, they say after an embryo transfer that you should watch things that make you laugh, make you happy. So How I Met Your Mother is that. And Pineapple Express makes me laugh. So we watched that. And then lastly, on Sunday, I did mark sleeping in. I filmed. I played some Animal Crossing. I left space for something there, but I don't know what it is because I didn't write it down. I marked having a TikTok scroll. And then once again, I left a little spot there to mark that we finished out of the day by watching How I Met Your Mother. Also, now that that's done, just really quickly, I did mention that I probably wouldn't be sharing August with you guys just because a lot happened. There may be 1 or 2 spreads that I'll share with you that I did film. We'll see how I feel and if I feel like doing a voiceover. But you may see another 2 weeks in August. I'm not 100% sure, but you definitely won't see anything in September. So videos after this will be a little bit sporadic until we get into October when I'll get back to regular posting for October spreads. And then November's normal, December's normal. So if you end up wondering where those videos are at, they aren't coming. That is why. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I'll see you all very soon for another video. Bye.